Motherhood is an incredible journey filled with love, challenges, and countless surprises. But how do you navigate it raising a child, a toddler, and all of that? So today we are going to be having an incredible experience. We are going to be diving into real and raw experience of motherhood with an inspiring mother of two. She's going to be telling us some of the experiences and how she has been able to navigate this whole journey. So I want you to stay tuned because this conversation is one every mom, a soon to be mom, and every woman considering motherhood won't want to miss. So I am so pleased and happy to welcome Blossom on board. How are you doing? Thank you for coming to Nurturing with Indiana. It's amazing to have you today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. I'm doing fine. Thank you.
Blossom is a mother of two, and she has a lively toddler and also a sweet 8 months old. So let's just get right into the business of the day. Now, how has motherhood journey been for you so far, especially balancing the need of a little one at different stages of their life? How has it been for you?
Well, motherhood has been a beautiful yet stretching journey for me. My hands are always full, literally, having to handle a 2-year-old who is very active and a baby, and their needs differ, their needs vary. So, in all, I have learned to embrace this season with grace and know that my children will not always be babies, they will not always be toddlers. So, I've learned to embrace my season with grace and just enjoy every moment of it and grow through it too.
Amazing. How wonderful. It's been roller coaster. Toddlers, they're always full of energy, curiosity, and all of
Exactly.
that. And 7 months, my
Yeah.
baby is 11 months, and I can imagine what it is. So some days I just feel like a superhero, and the other days I just feel like, oh my God, not today. But to be honest, we are doing a good job. And with everything
Exactly.
going on, it's amazing. Now, the next thing I would like you to share with us is specific moments, how this specific moment that you've been overwhelmed, what moment was that? Can you share that with us? What has been your most overwhelming moment and how have you been able to overcome it?
Okay, so as you were speaking, what came to mind was a very vulnerable moment of my life as a mother of two, where I was sick. I mean, I was sick to my bones. By then, I had my baby boy, so I had two children around. I was sick, but I still had to do the things I had to do for my children. I still had to breastfeed my baby because I think he was about 3 months that time, and I still had to take care of my 2-year-old. I was so sick that I couldn't move from the bed. But when it was time to breastfeed my child, I would breastfeed him. And it made me feel like um as mothers, the best thing we can do for ourselves is to take care of our bodies because your children will be fine. Whether you are sick or you're healthy, your children will be fine regardless. And your children deserves a healthy mother. They need a balance. They deserve a balanced mother. So it made me think. It got me thinking. Like mothers are very strong people. Mothers are literally the center that holds it all together. I was sick yet. I mean, you are sick as a mother. You still have to do the necessary things for your child. So that was a very vulnerable moment, and I gave myself a plus for it. Another vulnerable moment was when my two children were sick at the
Hmm.
same time. And
Wow.
when your toddler is sick, the toddler can literally be clingy. She wants to be a baby
Yeah.
again. So my
Yeah.
baby boy, I had to back. I even have a picture where I was backing my boy, and I was carrying my boy, and I was backing my toddler because I mean she was so sick and she just couldn't help herself. That was a very challenging moment for me, and I'm also grateful for my partner, the kindness of my partner. He's always there to ease the burdens. So those are two moments in my life that is so
Amazing,
vulnerable.
amazing, amazing. So that's actually something that every mom can actually relate. I relate that. So recently my little baby is sick and the nights It's not your nights. The days are not your days. So it's always clinchy and crying and needing attention because that's just the only way they can express themselves. So it's really, really relatable. Now, the next question I'm going to ask is that what are the common questions that mothers have shared with you about the challenges that they are going through? What are the most common questions that you've heard from mothers?
Okay, I'm privileged to be in a community of women, young wives, and mothers, and we get this kind of questions often. Most moms feel like they're not doing enough for their children. They feel like they are not enough, especially when it comes to weight gain issues. They feel like they're not feeding their child enough, or they feel like they're not lactating enough. When it comes to exclusive breastfed children, they feel like, my breast milk is not producing enough, and it kind of affects this mother's, mental health. Also, a lot of mothers miss their old self. We enjoy being mothers, but we miss that purposeful driven woman. We miss
Some
being
women,
that
they
career
struggle
woman.
with these things and they share it. That's amazing.
Yes, they do. They do a whole lot, and they feel like, I'm missing out on life. Or I'm supposed to progress in my career. I'm missing out a chunky part of my years. And I also want to encourage these mothers by saying that motherhood is a journey. Motherhood is
Mm,
also a ministry. Because you
mm,
have children does not mean that you have to be stuck. Because you have children does not mean that you are stagnant. No, you're not stagnant. See it as
mm,
God has given you an honor and a privilege to groom and nurture these children, nurture people who eventually become well-grounded adults. So it's how you handle this season with grace and with ease that reflects on how your children become. Because if you're an angry mother, if you're an impatient mother, if you're a mother is always complaining, somehow to rub off on your children, don't forget that they are watching you as they grow. They see how
mhm.
you manage stress, they see how you manage the pressure, they see how you even manage their tantrums, right? So you want to model the right kind of temperament to your children. Again, don't feel stuck. And I also encourage mothers to belong to a community of mothers so that you can also share how you feel, talk to somebody about how you feel, and of course you'll feel better after that.
Amazing. So sometimes, mothers ask, okay, like for me, mostly I think it's for first time moms. If you
Mm.
don't know what to do, there's a question like, how do I juggle this? How do I navigate being a mother? How do I blend in after being a mom? Because a lot of people, like what you said, they struggle from like separating their self from who they used to be to who they are becoming.
Who
So a
they
lot of
are
moms
now,
really,
yes.
yeah, they struggle with this. But like what you just said, it is something that take it easy. It's a journey. It's a
It's a
ministry, and
journey.
we are very privileged to nurture this amazing human being, and it is something worth rewarding. Now, the next question I want to
Rewarding.
ask is, I think is a follow-up question to this last one. How do you, for example, for some mom that has been working and then they stop work,
Mm.
this kind of struggle with, okay, going back to career, for some people maybe they were in schools and then they had a baby, so what advice will you tell them? Is it when they are ready to go back into their career, or they should just take some time and understand? What would you tell them? Is it when, or should you just go back to work immediately? Are they ready? What would you have to say?
So I feel like mothers should do what works best for them. It's
Yeah.
not a one size fits all thing.
Mm,
You understand your schedules, understand your purpose, understand your timing, and a lot of mothers have support. A lot of mothers can give birth this month, and next month they have a village to literally help them watch their babies while they go back to work, or they go back to school, or they go back to whatever it is that they left behind. And some other mothers do not have this kinds of support. So I'll say that understand the place that you are at the moment and then decide where next you want to go. So if I sit here and say, as soon as you give birth, after 3 months, go back to school or go back to work, it may not work for the other mother. Just understand the kind of support you have within your disposal and what works best for you, and understand your timing. Our timings are different. I know mothers who had to pause their careers for like 15 years. They told
mm,
themselves, you see my children, nobody's going to raise them. I'm not going to get house helps or nannies. I want to be
yeah.
able to look at my children and
So no
and raise them to
pressure.
actually their teenage years. And so they
Mm,
had to give themselves that, not because they don't like career or they don't want to like
yeah.
advance, but they saw that their children were their primary assignments.
Okay.
And once they knew that their children has come to a level, they went back to their career, and it was like they never left. And there's some other mothers that feel like a lot of help could will do. Maybe
Yeah.
their husband will take care of their siblings if they have younger siblings. So find what works for you and do it. But the most important thing is that the children that God has given to us are not left untended. So we do not want to chase career, chase purpose, because their
Mhm.
primary purpose actually, and then leave our children. We realize now, oh, we're chasing other things, and our children were getting molested, our children were getting abused. No, we do not want that. So while we're chasing other things, let us ensure that our children are well taken care of.
Okay, I think what you just said is that, in fact, I think that's just like the best advice anybody can get. The thing is that sometimes we kind of like want to compare ourselves, which is not needed. You don't know the struggle. You don't know for the other person that you are looking at. Oh, she went back to work. You don't know the support system they've got. You don't know if they
She
have
has.
a whole village, like you said, coming and willing to kind of assist, but you might just be just you, especially. And I want to say this because I'm in a very different city, yeah, from my hometown, and this is like a very big deal here. Over here, there is no privilege of having your sister to stay with you, having a family member to stay with you. So you juggle all of this by yourself. So sometimes you don't need to compare yourself or pressurize yourself. Take it easy. You're already doing a lot. It's just that
A lot.
motherhood or
Yeah.
being a mom is a job that is not out there on LinkedIn that people can offer to get on a roll, and then get paid, and then they are paying you
Yeah.
£50 per hour or whatever it is. It's just that it's a job that is actually very free, and you work every time, every day. There is no holiday and all of that. So you are
No,
already
no
doing a
retreat,
job.
no leave. Exactly.
Nothing at all. So you're already doing something, no pressure, and take it easy on yourself. It's amazing. Now, the next thing I want to ask is that how do mom kind of stay relevant I'll wrap this in just one question. Stay relevant in family, stay relevant in their children's life, and also because most times when we become mothers, we kind of lose our place. How do we stay relevant? And also the second question is how do you stay relevant to yourself, like self-care, and all of that.
Okay, I always encourage mothers to pour back into themselves the way they pour into their children, the way they pour into their husbands, the way they pour into their, women, we are women, and by nature, we are
Mhm.
nurturers. You can
Yeah.
give us something and make a garden out of it, make a house out of a home, make a family out of nothing. So we are
Mm,
nurturers. We can put in place things that were not in place. And most
mhm.
times we that can nurture other people forget to nurture ourselves. And that's why you see sometimes mothers are the ones that are worn out, they're the ones that are exhausted, they are stressed, they are tired. So I encourage mothers to pour into themselves the way they pour into their children. Like I said
Mhm.
earlier on, your children deserve a balanced mother. They
Mhm.
deserve a healthy mother. They deserve a
Mhm.
mother that is mentally sound, right?
Yeah.
So find what you love to do. It may not, like, I know mothers, we don't have time for ourselves. The only time we have for ourselves are literally when our children are sleeping. And they used to
Yeah.
say sleep when the baby is sleeping. So if
Not
you are sleeping
possible.
when the baby is sleeping, when do you have time for yourself? So, I mean, those in between breaks when they are playing or when their dad is with them or when they are with maybe another person, you can just do the things you love. You can go for a 10 minutes work. You can journal. Maybe you can journal every day, 10 minutes. But for me, writing is therapeutic. Just journal, put your thoughts
Mm.
into writing. You can just maybe register at a gym. You could do maybe
Mhm.
20 minutes jogging, some exercise. You could read a book.
Mm.
Whatever that it doesn't have to be very, whatever that you love doing, please, for you to be sane, for you to keep yourself
Yeah,
together, please
you
pour into
totally.
yourself.
I totally agree with you. Sometimes like mothers naturally. I remember growing up. For me, how it was like my mom would rather please everybody, even people outside, before even she thinks of pleasing herself. Yeah, like if she cooks now, she would dish. It's now these days that parents, mom and dad, husband and wife, kind of eat together and enjoy. Most times you see mothers, they will dish for the husband, dish for the children, is whatever that is left, they will now have it. It's a natural thing. That's how we are wired. That's how we were created. But I think like it is very important, like we as mothers take care of ourselves. Go to gym. It makes you feel good. Do it. If you want to buy something for yourself, please and please. So sometimes you're like, oh, if I buy this, how do we save money for the family? How do we manage the funds that we are? Please sometimes buy this for yourself. If you want to get treat, I know sometimes like you maybe somebody wants to buy you a treat, or maybe your husband wants to buy you, say, oh no, don't worry, this money will this happen a lot because we are mothers. It's this natural instinct that comes with nurturing, natural instincts of growing, and but please, sometimes just allow yourself to be pampered. In fact, long to be pampered. Something I want to share something. Cultivate like a family tradition where you feel treated well as well. Like family tradition, like okay, recently I and my husband recently started cultivating a family tradition of at least once in a month we should go out by ourselves without the children. At least once in a month, just go out, whatever it is. It might be movies, it might be having a drink, it might be, even if it's shopping, go buy something for yourself, because at the end of the day, it's this kind of thing that will keep you going. Because once you are just there
Yeah,
lacking behind, you will feel very frustrated, you will feel left out, you feel that you've been sucked out of, and then there is nothing coming. So
mm,
give yourself some love, treat yourself, go on vacation if there is need. It doesn't have to be a very big one. People think vacation is just like going to a new country or going to a different country. Maybe you are going to Italy or you are going to Paris. No, you can just, if you're in a locality, you can leave and go to maybe a nice resort. There is always a resort everywhere. There is always hotel everywhere. There is always something everywhere. Go to these places and treat yourself right, because you really, really deserve it. Now, that being said, and I think the last thing we've not spoken about is mothers being relevant to our, like, we mothers, we should not neglect our husband, because sometimes when we have kids, we tend to like, okay, or neglect our partner because we are looking at our baby, or looking at the child, we are looking at the children, not being a wife. Because before we were mothers, we were wives first. So it is very,
wow.
very important as mothers to keep that relationship burning, keep the fire burning with your husband, keep that romance, rekindle that love, find that attraction. Sometimes play together. Different, everybody have different love languages, right? So find things that you guys are interested about each other. Keep doing those things. Even when you struggle to find time, mothers, please keep doing those things, because those are the things that will bring back that spark. Those are the things that will bring back that romance and love in the marriage.
Exactly.
And I think our final thing is, do you have any final thoughts for mothers generally? What would you like to say? Final thing, what quotes, what was that thing that has always keep you going? That one simple quote that you like to share with us?
Okay, so I'd like to encourage mothers that in the early phase of motherhood, it is normal to feel lonely, especially in the
Mm-hmm.
early years. So isolating. But I encourage mothers to please find a tribe, find a community. Life is
Mm.
not meant to be done alone. Just like nurturing with Indiana says, we can thrive in communities. God never
Yeah,
even intended us to do life alone. So the easiest
yeah.
way for the enemy to strike you and take you down is to isolate you. Please
Mm.
do not be isolated. Don't say, I can do my family alone. I can do my motherhood thing. I can be a wife alone. No, please. And by finding a community, don't just look for any community because you want to belong. Find a
Yeah.
vibrant community. My fellow godmothers, please find a strong believing community and belong to. Trust me, there's some days you don't feel like praying, but that
Mm.
community will help you. There's some days you don't feel like going on. I mean, they will strengthen
Mm.
you.
Mm.
So I know that we want to do everything at once. We want the house to be clean. We want the laundry to be done. Just know
Yeah.
that balancing does not mean that everything is perfect. Balancing only
Amazing.
means that you are prioritizing what matters
Yeah.
most at that moment. So
Mm.
please, if the laundry has to be piled up so that you can take a rest, please choose your rest.
Okay,
Choose your
that
rest.
That is amazing. Thank you so much. And I want to add to that, sometimes when we are mothers, we don't go out, and I think it's very bad. Now, I remember I always when I sit back and I remember this, and this is not just to mothers alone. This episode, I think it is something that is soon to be mom, an aspiring mother can always relate. We are sharing real life experiences. So you don't have to be a mom for you to get all these lessons, all these tips and hacks. Okay. So I remember one time I didn't have my baby yet, and then there was a kind of baby shower for a particular woman. And then I was still single. I was not, it was an elderly woman, I was not in their kind of age group, but I decided to go along and at least help or whatever it is and know how these things work. And then after the whole program, they shared very, very, very valuable lessons. And one of it was like, okay, what are the best nappy to buy for a child? What are the best products? What are these kind of products that you can use for your child? Some of these things that out there, you may not get it easily, except if you've met someone that has passed through such experiences, right? So sometimes they will ask you, they will tell you, okay, these are the products that work for my child. You need this kind of information. Now, don't forget that information is power. It will help you to move from where people are struggling, you'll be thriving because you know what to do,
No,
when to do it, and at the right time. So, mothers, please and please, like Blossom said, take your time, invest in yourself, show yourself some kindness, and go out, belong to a group. Don't do life
yeah.
alone. It's not easy. Everybody, there are so many things that we can learn from people to teach a lesson, to share our experiences that will help somebody grow. So belong to a group, go out
Yeah.
there, meet people, make friends. Don't be alone. You deserve love and you need to give yourself some kindness. Okay. Thank you so much, Blossom, for
Thank
coming. It's been an incredible journey. It's been an incredible conversation. I know the viewers, they have gotten a lot of insight. They've learned a lot. Thank you so much for watching. And if you have any questions that we've not kind of addressed, you have anything you want us to talk about, feel free to drop it in the comment section. I can always reach Blossom, and maybe if need be, we can bring her back to Nurturing with Indiana for her to share more amazing insights with us. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up right now so that lots of people can see it. Thank you, and do well to subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for coming, Blossom. Bye,
you.
guys.